Thank you very much. It is my absolute honor to be here in the same room with all these men and women who have suffered injustices, who have risked their life, career, and their family members for holding convictions. My name's Anastasia Lin. I'm a Canadian actress, and I was crowned Miss World Canada last May. I grew up in China, and when I was my 13 years in China, I've never realized the extent of indoctrination that was instilled on me. Only when I came to Canada did I realize that I had been indoctrinated with one-party authoritarian regime's wish. Now, I have to thank my mother for opening the windows to Western values for me and introducing to me many things that I was not heard of in China. For example, the persecution of religious minorities such as Falun Gong practitioners, Tibetans, Uyghurs, and also Tiananmen massacre, which is never heard of in China. I did my own research, and eventually I myself even started to practice a peaceful meditation practice that was vilified on Chinese media. After that, I realized something must be done. So I went out on the street to talk to the Chinese dissidents who are handing out flyers in Chinatown, who, because of cultural and language barrier, never had the means to communicate their suffering to the West community. So as an actress, I picked roles that inspired me, that tell stories, shed light on the official corruption, on the media censorship, and also organ harvesting of political prisoners in China. I ran for Miss World Canada on a platform of human rights. And last May, I was crowned. I think the Canadian judges recognized the value in my platform and decided that I may be the best one to take this platform. So immediately after my win, there was glowing news in China about a Chinese-Canadian girl succeeded abroad, that we Chinese are the best and can make it. And after a few days, I think that they did more digging, and all these glowing news started to disappear. They changed my picture, they changed my name into someone else. And my father, subsequently, have sent me a text message indicating that the security forces have came to him and told him that if I don't stop, my family will receive the consequences of the Cultural Revolution. Now, for many who are not familiar, Cultural Revolution is the most traumatizing period in Chinese history. Families, members were turned against each other. Children were encouraged to denounce their own parents if their parents are not in line with the party's indoctrination. I was afraid, and as I reflected on it, I realized I couldn't give in to fear. So I went to the media, and I went to write for Washington Post about this story, about this experience of my father's. And then I testified in Congress. And when Miss World decided to hold their final in China, my invitation from the Chinese government to participate in the final never came. They never gave me any official reason for the denial, so I decided to try my luck. As it turned out, Canadians, among 21 other nations around the world, are eligible to receive a landing visa in China. So I went to Hong Kong hoping to go to China for my Miss World final. And after I got off the plane, I realized that the Chinese government had declared me persona non grata. Now, this is a term that I had to research on Wikipedia. I did not know what persona non grata is. And when I found out that it was the highest punishment for diplomacy, I really wonder, what did I do to deserve that? And I look back to the cases that I've been talking about, including in US Congress. The groups that I was speaking up for, what they have experienced in China, Chinese government have done the most severe violation of peremptory norms. Not only have they experienced sexual assault, their family members being intimidated, potentially their organs being harvested. But China never really received any real cost for this kind of brazen human rights abuses. Why did it happen? In part, it happened because the outsiders, the West, have never imposed any real cost on its happening. We have taught the Chinese government that they can abuse human rights of their own citizens with impunity. Now, by coming here, I really hope to encourage the nations, especially the ones who organize this event today, to speak up for these people, to speak up for the people who are in China without a voice, to speak up for my father, people like my father who lived through Cultural Revolution, who tried to speak up for themselves, but every time they tried, the Communist Party stripped their integrity away until to this day, they don't even know that they have a right to think for themselves. Changes will come to China and must come from within, but I hope that when the Chinese people are finally free to confront the crimes of the Communist Party, they will also thank us for standing up for them when their liberty is being deprived. Thank you very much.